Hello, welcome to Life and Beyond. I'm Sangeetha. In this channel, we discuss everything about health, happiness, and productivity. Today, I'm here with a very dense topic: how to forgive someone. In each of our lives, there will be at least one person who we can't forgive, whatever it takes. It might be because of something that he or she did accidentally, even without them being aware that they did and they hurt you. Or it might be because of something that you think they did intentionally. Whatever it is, you will have a hell lot of reasons why you cannot forgive that person. And it's not easy for even us, every time you think about that person or you think about that event, to feel, to recreate that experience, to relive that pain and hurt. It's not easy for any one of us. And what happens? We become more and more angry and we feel more and more grudge towards that person for having made us experience that event. Also, we feel angry and resentful at ourselves for having made to experience that event. So, if we have a lot of reasons for not forgiving someone, then why forgive in the first place? To answer that question, we need to dive deep into the topic. Yes, that person might have hurt you once, but every time when you recreate that experience, when you relive that experience, every time you feel that same amount of pain, same amount of hurt, who is inflicting that pain and that hurt? Is it that person or is it you yourself? Studies have shown and researchers have proved that our mind and our brain cannot differentiate between a real event and an emotionally charged, vivid imagination. So every time we rethink of that event, our brain is perceiving it as an actual event. So imagine if that one specific event in reality was that much stressful for you as a person, reliving that every other day, how much stressful it is for you. It is like experiencing that event over and over again, but there is no another person on the other side. It's just you and yourself. So don't you think it will be more beneficial if you move on, if you forgive? Yet another form of forgiveness is forgiving one's own self. And believe me, it is more complicated, more difficult, 100 times more difficult than forgiving another person. You might feel resentful to yourself for the thing you said several years back, for the thing you did several years back, the way you behaved several years back, and you are not able to forgive yourself, you are not able to move on from that event. And it is way more difficult than forgiving anyone else. So what are the steps for you to forgive another person or yourself? The first thing is to have an awareness. For any problem in your life, the first step to a solution is to have an awareness. If you don't feel that it's an issue, if you don't feel that it's a problem, then how do you go about solving that problem, right? So the first thing is to have an awareness. Be aware that I have grudge towards this person, or I'm feeling negative towards this person. But the clause is there should not be any rationalization, there should not be any emotionalization. So what is rationalization? Yes, I'm feeling grudge toward that person. Why won't I feel grudge toward that person? Anyone who have experienced that will definitely naturally feel grudge, naturally feel anger. Why not? What is so much to talk about that? It's natural. That is rationalization. What is emotionalization? I was deeply hurt by that. I was deeply wounded. I was not able to get out of the bed for several weeks after that. I was not able to be myself several weeks after that. I was not able to recoup from that incident for several years, and I'm not even stable even now. That is emotionalization. So, without all this emotionalization, rationalization, just give it a neutral awareness. I have grudge. I have a negative feeling, and it's not good for me. That is the first step. Let that thought sink to your mind. Take as much time as you want, but let that thought sink to your deep self. The second thing is to have an open mindset. So, what do you mean by an open mindset? There are two ways to go about it. In this social media world, we know that what we are seeing as another person is only mere projection of their selves. It's not their true personalities or their true selves. It is just a projection which is prone to perfection. So we don't know the depths of their experiences, their emotions, their thinking process, and we don't know why they acted that way. There are more layers to a person than we can ever understand. What we are seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. The whole 90% of the person's true self lies beneath, which we have no clue about. So perhaps there was something that made them do that. Just have an open mind. Another way to go about it is to rephrase your question. So whenever we get hurt, whenever someone does something to us that we are totally spiteful of, what is the first question that you ask? Why did he do that? What is wrong with him? Right? Just change that question. Just rephrase the question. What happened to them? Or what might have happened to them for them to behave in that way? Oprah Winfrey, in her latest book, What Happened to You, exactly phrases this question. She says, why did he or she do that is less important. The more important and the more relevant question is, what happened to her or him in the past that made them behave the way they are doing? So if we are able to change our perspective to these questions, then we can at least have a neutral perspective towards that person, and in the long run, hopefully, it can turn into something positive. So after you create that awareness, after you create that open mindset, then only you go about the actual act of forgiving. Jay Shetty, in his beautifully written book, Think Like a Monk, explains in detail about forgiveness, and he gives 5 levels of forgiveness. The first level is the zero forgiveness, where you say to yourself, I'm not going to forgive that person, I'm not going to do any harm, but I will never in my life be able to forgive that person. That is zero awareness. The second level is the conditional awareness. Here we say to ourselves, if he apologizes, then I'll think about forgiving. If he or she promises not to do that ever again, then I'll think about forgiving. It is just our ego working. There are a lot of conditions that we keep for them, for us to forgive them. The third one is the transformational forgiveness. Here we forgive a person just like that. We don't expect anything in return. We don't even expect an apology in return. We forgive them for what they did. The fourth forgiveness, the fourth level, is the unconditional forgiveness. This is often exemplified by parents to kids. Parents forgive their kids for whatever they did and for whatever they will do in the future, right? So imagine you forgiving someone, maybe your spouse or your partner or your kids, for whatever they might do to you in the future. That is unconditional forgiveness. And the fifth and the pinnacle of forgiveness is sattva, where we wish positive, where we wish best for those who did harm to us. It's very difficult to go about the journey of forgiveness, but if we start slow, if we start small, then at the end of the period, you will definitely be able to reach wherever it is that you want to reach. Always remember, forgiving a person is not about that person at all. It is about you yourself. It is about you moving on. It is about you creating positive in your life. The less time you focus on thinking about someone else, the more time you have to fix your own life. So just give a break, just take a pause, just see to whom is it that you are holding that deep, long rooted grudge that you might, if given a chance, give a try to forgive. And I wish you all success in your journey to forgiveness. Till we see with another video next time, take care and stay safe.